I have a little bit of a dodgy internet, but we'll see how we get along. I came across a very interesting story about the Mario Brothers effect, or the Mario, they actually call it the Mario effect, but those of you who are my age would remember the Mario Brothers. Gosh, that was a game that we played on and forever and forever and forever. And just drop me in the comment section, maybe just raise your hand or drop me a one if you were one of those people that played that game and knew exactly and how many hours you would spend on average in front of that game every single day. But as I am working with athletes and we're working on skill and skill development and how to improve their skill, how to improve their performance, I came across this actually little experiment that they did. And it is actually a YouTuber who did this experiment. He was a mock rover. He's an ex-NASA engineer that sort of turned YouTuber. And there's a whole interview about how he came about that. But what he actually did is he asked 50,000 of his followers to actually do a little experiment or play a game with him. And what they had to do is there was a little maze. He designed a maze online, and there was a little car, and with programming instructions, drag and drop instructions. In other words, he would give you a list of commands on the right hand side, and you had to drag and drop them in a particular order in order for this car to move through the maze. And that was sort of the essence of the exercise that they did, or the experiment that they did. However, he split, I just want to get the stats here up so that I can give you the exact stats, but he split the group up in two. So there were 25,000 one group, 25,000 in the other group, and he just told them, I want to prove that anybody can program or do some sort of PC programming. But what he, in essence, was looking at was the response of the two groups in terms of learning and what they have. And so what would happen is the one group would do programming, and the moment they would, so you can like drag and drop the commands. And let's say you have 5 commands and you can click start and the little car would drive so that you can see how far you can get and if the information is correct or the instructions that you have is correct. If the instructions were not correct at that point in time, what will happen is a little pop-up box will display on the screen and it will say that didn't work, please try again. On the other hand, the other 25,000 people had a different message that would pop up if they made a mistake. And it would say that didn't work, you just lost 5 points. You now have, let's say, 190 points. Please try again. So that was the only difference between the two groups and within the experiment. Everything else was exactly the same. And here's an interesting thing that they have found, and contrary to popular belief nowadays, and Andrew Huberman, also speaks about it in one of his recent podcasts. A lot of the self-help literature and a lot of the current messages say that if you are desperate enough that you're going to lose something, you will be successful, or you will do something, or you will have the motivation to do something along that lines, right? So it's all about the focus of what you are going to lose if you do not do that something specific, and that will drive you in a direction to do something. But that's actually what they've not found. What they have found was that the people that got the message that said, you have, please try that again, you've just lost 5 points, you now have so many points, yada, 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 they actually were 52% successful in completing the task, right? The other group, where they just stated that that didn't work, please try again, there was no other, I almost want to say driver, there was no other message to tell them you have gained this or this was your reward at that point in time. It was just a straightforward message. That didn't work, please try again. they were 68% more successful. And that is a significant difference between the 52% and 68%. Now, which was sort of hard to believe, right? Because we often, and in a lot of the work even that we do, we often have this message about if you punish somebody for their behavior, it will be rectified, or it will be better, or they will start to become successful, whatever the case might be. But what was even more interesting, and this is really the piece that I want to stand still with, but what was even more interesting is the people in the one group that was 68% successful, they had more attempts, or they tried more times in a specific period of time than the other group. So their attempts in being successful, or to get through the maze, or to get all of the programming sorted in the right order, was 12 tries before they got there. For the group, in the 52% group, theirs were only 5 tries. So they essentially gave up earlier, which is a significant piece of information, or interesting to see how people react towards towards punishment, to know that I have lost something in particular. And this is extremely helpful when you start to look at things like skill learning. And as I've mentioned, Dr. Andrew Huberman speaks about this in one of his recent podcasts. Because if you look at this, you can see the value in reframing your opportunity, or reframing your challenge that you have in front of you, as opposed to saying that you have just lost this. You talk about what it is, and you stay focused on the end goal, and you sort of so because if you think, and also Mark Rober uses the example, and he coined it, the term the Mario effect, and used the example of the Mario Brothers game, where, and you will remember, it was this little man that would like jump over things, and he had to go and rescue the princess in the castle. And there were holes, and there were fires, and there were dragons, and so, and if the first time, if you didn't jump high enough and you fall into the pit, it's not like you gave up and you were so ashamed and you were like ridiculing yourself. I'm so terrible, I will never be able to do this. No one did that. You just like went back, it will flash game over, and you will go back and you will start over, because now you know, you have learned, oh gosh, if I do not run fast enough, and if I press the jump button at this point, then I'll get over the pit, or I'll get over the cliff, or I'll get over the dragon. And that is how people really learn effectively. If they, and also when we get back to the repetitions, if they try more times in a shorter period of time, they learn more effectively. And this is really something you can keep in mind when you are working on skills, especially for your athletic performance, is it seems to be more beneficial to do more repetitions in a shorter, I don't want to say shorter period of time, but in a specific period of time, where you just do the same repetitions over and over and over and over again. Because that will give you the motivation as well, and drive you towards that end goal that you are trying to achieve, as opposed to focusing on something negative, or focusing on, I almost want to say the disappointment or something like that. So really gives it a whole new meaning to how you're going to frame your challenges going forward. Interesting piece of information. You can take that, practice it, go and do something with it, at least in the next week or so, and come back and say how that has worked for you, or how did you experience that. Drop your comments in the comments section. It would really be interesting to know how, with you applying it, what has changed for you, and how did you apply it, what have changed for you, and how are you looking differently at maybe something that you are trying to achieve. So I hope that was helpful. I'll see you guys throughout the rest of the week. It's the middle of the week. We have a nice sunny winter's day here in Bloemfontein, South Africa. And I hope it's warm where you are. If you are, I almost want to say calling in from the US. If you are listening in from the US, hope you have a nice nice summer's day. And I know it's almost evening for my friends in Asia. So, but I'll see you guys around. Thanks for watching. Bye.